Is that what you want? Is that what you want from me? Hi, I'm Michaela.
I'm Tanya. We moved halfway across the world for the plot.
We can't afford therapy, so we decided to plaster our problems all over the internet.
Welcome to the shit show.
That was good. That was nice.
That was nice.
Oh no.
Episode 3.
Episode 3. What are we going to talk about today?
The 5-year plan. I was about to say the 5-year itch.
I also get some of those. Except mine happens after 3.
The 5-year plan.
What a load of shit. I have pondered this a lot and what this meant. And I think that the 5-year plan is a hoax. In my opinion. End of episode. What did you come up with?
I feel like the 5-year plan went out the window
Yeah.
long ago. I think they kind of set you up to have a 5-year plan. And it's like it's a scam.
It's a scam.
It's a scam to make you think you're going somewhere.
I think in high school, it's fair to have a 5-year plan. Go to university, get a job. Sure. But like, did you have a 5-year plan 5 years ago?
Yes. And then COVID hit.
Sure.
And that was the end of the plans.
Sure. All plans are off. I don't know anyone. Actually, okay. So I'm going to start here. What is your initial emotional reaction when I ask you this? Reset. Ground yourself. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
That's it.
I feel panicked. Like, I don't know.
Mine's just like this massive question mark that just pings.
Right?
Some people have light bulbs. I have question marks.
I think unless you're working in a corporate role or like you want to follow the regular kind of get a partner, get married, have kids, buy a house, not in that order. See? No plan. Like, I don't know.
I think everyone's plan is different.
Sure.
But whether people plan their plans or we just let the plans plan us.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think for me, planning went out the window when COVID hit.
Yeah.
But it was also a very transitional point in my life where I did just finish uni.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking for a job. I had just lost my job. So it was a very wishy-washy point in my time anyway. And then with COVID, any plan that you made just got thrown out because no one expected us to be in lockdown for that long.
No. You could make plans and then those plans would get pulled from you when the next lockdown was...
Exactly. And then everything shifted. People changed jobs. More people got redundant. Nobody had any money. Everyone was doing different things.
Yeah.
So
I completely agree.
yeah.
I'm trying to think back 5 years ago. I don't think that I've ever had a 5-year plan.
5-year plans were good. Like I said, when you were in school.
Yeah.
When I was in school, I had a plan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I get... Because you had milestones too.
Yeah,
that were fun
exactly.
to reach, you know.
Exactly.
Turn 16, get my learners. Turn 18, I get my license and I finish high school.
Yeah.
And then I go to uni and then that's good. That's 3 years. So then by the end of those 3 years, I'll finish uni and then I will have a job. And then once I've got my job, I'll move out and have my own place and meet a partner. And that's the logical thinking. And because you have these time restrictions on study, it kind of builds the basis of a plan.
100%. It's not, I don't know that it is a plan. It's like hey, we'll do that. And then you're just locked in for that amount of time.
Yeah.
And not everyone locks themselves in for that amount of time either. Like people drop out of uni and plans change. And I think that's when I was pondering this subject, it's the fact that plans do change. And if you're really locked into a 5-year plan, I really want this, it doesn't leave space for the good shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To a point. I mean, obviously you want your bricks and mortar. like finances and a home and all of that stuff. But I think that having too much of a plan also can make you miss out on things.
Do you think sticking to a plan closes off opportunities?
Yes.
If you're like too rigid to your plan.
Yeah. And me, I mean, you know me well, I am quite rigid and have schedules that are very rigid and, you know, habits that are very rigid. But if I had stuck to what I initially thought I wanted for a 5-year plan, I wouldn't be where I want to be.
What was your plan when you were 16?
World domination. No, I always wanted to do music.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to leave school, graduate. I hated high school. I wanted to graduate high school. I never wanted to go to university, but I did for music because that's what people do. And then I wanted to magically get a record deal and be a famous singer.
But I think planning when you're younger, you're full of hope and optimism.
And dreams. I think that plans when you're younger are dreams.
Yes. And then when you get older, you realize you actually can't plan for much.
No. There's a lot of people on this earth. I don't know the number. And it's not always just up to you. People get in the way. Things get in the way. Life happens.
Yep. Do you think there's people out there that like rigidly stick to a plan?
Absolutely.
Like they've got their vision boards. And like,
I've dated one.
And they're like, all right, by the end of this year, I have to have this amount of money and I have to have achieved this in my job and I have to have secured 3 dates with this girl.
I almost married one. Yes, I think that people most definitely do. And again, like I was saying, I feel like working a corporate job or something where you're in an institution like that, it's much easier to have a plan because you can discuss with your boss, what's my level of this, what would my salary look like, then from that salary, blah, blah, blah. But if you're freelancing or doing anything other than that...
I don't think so. I think it's a personality type, to be honest.
It's true.
I mean, you could do that with any job.
It's true.
You could be a freelancer and be like, okay, I need to do this by this point of time and I need to do this. Should we be doing that? Should we have a plan? Because now the more that I'm talking about it, I'm like,
shit, we've missed the point.
This sounds logical.
Yeah, it does. It does. But the way we live our life, we can only plan for 12 months.
I have plans. Like when I think about it, we are planners. We plan our days, we plan our weeks, and then we've planned the year. Mm-hmm. We've got a year here. Okay, we'll stay here for a year. Yes, at some point we will need to figure out the next 12-month plan. Mm-hmm. But I feel like there's a bit in the middle that we're missing.
Yes. I also think that it's circumstantial. Like say we had the plan, we're going to get a job. Maybe we are making the plans, but the plan's not happening as quickly as we want, and that's not that's not because of what we're doing. You know what I mean?
I'm just reconsidering everything. I'm like, I came into this conversation like, plans are bad, you can't do them because life happens. But then I'm thinking, should we have a better plan and then maybe life wouldn't throw us off as much? Is it better to plan or is it better to let the plan you?
I don't think that either of us have walked into this blind. I think we both know what we want out of this year.
Before we moved to the Netherlands, what was your plan?
What a joke.
What?
Okay.
Before you got on that plane, in your head, what was the plan?
My plan was to get into university at one university, which would then give me a visa for 5 years to stay. And this is the thing, I made small plans to set myself up for that in saying teaching myself music theory, getting a band together to audition, doing all of those things. My plans had to change, not from my detriment, I don't believe, due to other people not letting me into university. Yep. So then my plan had to pivot. Every morning I would wake up and have to pivot. My plan changed every morning as we went.
Yep. My plan to come to the Netherlands, it was a 12-month working holiday visa.
Sure.
So my plan was like, cool, I have 12 months to secure my Italian passport from my grandparents.
Sure.
I was like, cool, we'll get there. We'll get an apartment. We'll get a job.
Mm-hmm.
We'll travel. We're going to have the time of our life.
Mm-hmm.
By the end of the 12 months, I will have a passport. Life's going to be dandy.
And God looked at your plans and he laughed.
He did. And then it took us forever to get an apartment, which chewed into a little bit of our travel money. The the Italian passport turned out to be impossible to get. We did get jobs. Well, I got my job and it was good and I really enjoyed it. But again, it pivoted because we then had to leave and I lost that job.
Sure.
So my planning, while it worked to a degree, the little intricate connecting dots that would have made it flow better, I didn't plan.
No.
Which I think could have been beneficial. So I think we did I think you're right. We did have a plan. We had a loose plan.
We did.
Which allowed for changes to happen.
Yeah, we're not walking around here loosey-goosey, running out of money, no idea what's how much is in the account. I mean, okay. But
now we are.
Yes, but we have planned to get ourselves out of that. We're not just sitting here oblivious, being like, everything's going to be fine, the universe will work its thing. We are working very hard and have structure enough to make what we want work to a point. But again, it'll probably look different 3 times before we actually settle.
We couldn't stay in the Netherlands, so we had to move again.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you've planned your next 12 months better than what you planned your last 12 months?
Yes.
So coming into this 12 months, are you planning for the whole 12 months? Are you planning 3 months ahead? 1 month ahead?
3 months ahead.
Thrown all plans out.
I don't even want to start thinking about December. But again, maybe I am low-key planning because I know what December means. That means we have to start looking for appointments, figuring out the next place we're going, all of that. So I'm not looking that far because then that stress comes up. I want to focus on the next month, 2 months, whatever. I just want to be able to afford to go to Spain for your birthday, really.
Honestly, I'm planning 1 month at a time.
That's all you can do.
Because we don't know what's happening yet and we don't have jobs. So then also you're looking at your money and you're like, okay, I do need to plan that side of my life out because that is dwindling.
Yes, exactly. And there's again, other factors that are going to affect your plans.
Yeah.
And you don't know when the next random fucking bill or whatever is going to come in or someone will hit you with something, you've got to plan as much as you can. But shit's going to change.
Yeah, you realize that life does throw curveballs and you don't know.
You can't.
And I always used to say, when people be like, oh, don't you see us 5-10 years down the road and we're doing this? Don't you ever think about that? And I'm like, no, because I don't know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
No one can set in concrete what's going to happen in life.
No, like COVID.
Yeah, COVID.
None of us saw that coming.
Coming.
I remember when it was all starting to be announced and then we lost 2 years of our lives. It's insane. And I was watching this girl who made one of the meme videos and she was that this is going to not come over well on audio, but this meme of her smiling to a Justin Bieber video. Anyway, it was a meme and she was like, I just put this thing up one day and it changed my life. I was just in my bedroom doing nothing and then now
but that's a good plan you want to pivot to.
Exactly, but that's what I mean, you never know if something great will just happen.
That's my problem. I don't plan because I feel like something bad's gonna happen,
but I think that's our generation too. Some people are just fucking delusional. I think that we're just salty bitches. You and I both go into lots of situations completely almost embody the fact that it's not going to go right. What about our visa appointment?
Yeah.
I was prepared for it to fail.
I was 100% convinced. Had a criminal record for some reason that I had no idea about, or I had some blacklist on my passport and they were going to be like, no.
It doesn't make sense, right? Because
we're perfect citizens. Literally,
but also we had all of the paperwork prepared. We had ticked all of the boxes. We'd checked our list and fucking checked it twice. Like we were completely prepared. There was no reason for us not to. And I think that we go into a lot of situations expecting the worst. So how do you...
Why is that?
I don't know. What is wrong with us? Oh no, this is getting real.
Is it because all the rejection we've experienced over the past 12 months? Like, we went to so many apartment viewings, so many applications for jobs, so many visa appointments trying to make something stick. And it was always that no, red tape, governments, everything was stopping us, which constantly changed our plans.
For sure. And I think it ended up becoming like almost a safety barrier. If you expect the worst and the worst happens, you're like, well, I kind of figured.
That's all right. We'll go to plan D, E, F, G, H.
Exactly.
Yep.
For sure. But then when something good happens, I don't know that I believe it. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
Is the key to planning having multiple plans?
I think you need to be open to change or pivot. I think that if you have too many plans in a row, then it's too easy to have a fallback and you need to put yourself into something. But when that something doesn't work, then you pivot and think about something else.
Don't plan, pivot.
Exactly. I think that pivoting's not something that I used to be very good at. It's something that I've definitely had to learn and been forced to learn because I look at the alternative. If I didn't pivot and I went all the way home.
So expensive.
Also, who knows if I can come back? What if we don't find that other plan? We're also closer to so many different countries here, so we can jump to a different visa or do whatever over there.
Yeah, because there are visas in so many countries here.
Yeah, the UK was always a strong fallback. We always had that as an idea because they're in the Commonwealth with us.
I think we still are in plan A.
Yeah.
In somewhat, according to your logic, we're pivoting.
Yeah.
And then, plan B was the UK.
Yeah. If the path in front of you...
Are you going to cry?
No. If the path in front of you is clear, step by step, 5 to 10 years from now, realize that it's somebody else's path. If you can't see the road, that's when you know it's your path to build. We are not lost at all. Do you believe that? Do you think that if you had a clear plan, everything was really easy and whatever, it's because someone else had planned, not like someone else above you in the universe had planned it out, but it's someone else's route? The fact that you're building this and in these 5-year plans, in the 12-month plans that we're in, do you feel like you're building your own plans then?
I kind of do like that because, yes, you are kind of taking it step by step, building it yourself. If you are thinking in terms of like you see a clear path, it's because someone else has paved it. Yeah. So you're either following in the footsteps of someone, which might not be a bad thing,
not
but
at all.
You don't have that chance to expand or make it your own. Do I believe there's a higher up planning for us? No.
No, neither do I.
Or else I would have some complaints. I would like to talk to them.
Yeah. Every time I get knocked back, I'm like, these 11/11 wishes aren't working. What's wrong with the universe?
Or I feel like I'm just like a tester.
Yeah.
Like for other people's plans. Like, okay, I really want to do this plan for this person, but I just don't know how it's going to work out. So I'm just going to give it to her and see what she does with it.
That's so nasty. Universe, come on. How about back here?
I'm more than a tester.
Yeah. And I'm so sick of people being like, oh, well, that was another rejection. Something better is coming. Where is it? Where is it?
I was also, because this week's been really hard for rejection, but I did like this quote because we were talking about we just have to think we're lucky again.
Yeah.
And, things will come to us. But this quote was like, you make your own luck.
100%.
So you kind of just have to work harder. So now instead of thinking, oh, I'm really unlucky, I'm constantly thinking to myself, I'm not working hard enough.
What more can I be doing?
Yes.
That resonates with me so strongly, you create your own luck.
Yeah.
Because what frustrates me more than anything is like people half-assing shit and then being like, why didn't it work out? Like, I know you and you are one of the most hardworking people that I know. I believe And I've thought about this in terms of my music career back home, because I was like, yeah, I'm a singer. I do all the things. I went to rehearsal like once a week and I never wrote ever. Whereas now it's like, of course I'm progressing and playing shows and getting more followers and stuff because I'm fucking putting in the work.
Is it better to throw out the plan and start a new one than stick with a plan you're unhappy with?
If you get halfway down the road of a plan that it turns out is not your plan, scrap it, in my opinion. You can feel that and embody it, and if it's not where you want to be, I think you need to leave.
Yeah, get a new plan.
For sure.
Especially like, even in a career. I think that's going to be like one of the hardest points is you get so far into a career and you're in a good position and you've got a good wage, you've got a good job, you like it, but there's something else that you know you could be doing, and it's so scary to leave and then start again.
For sure. But I think it's important, and I think that this is a common trend throughout all of the episodes, but life is short.
Yeah.
Like if you're, just because you're 10 years into something, and I mean, I think about it as relationships, just because you're in it for a long time doesn't mean it's right.
Yeah.
Do you think it's been easier having no plan, having someone else with you doing the same thing?
I think it would have been nice if one of us had a better plan.
Okay.
Most of the time I just look at people and I'm like, where did they get all that money from?
Okay. Counter this. How do you think people feel looking at your Instagram? Do you ever post the tears and, you know, the shower lines and like people
dark
look
side.
at us and they're like, wow, how are they affording living overseas for so long? Like,
that is true.
It's very easy.
Yep.
It's very easy.
Wow, we're just spilling all our secrets here.
Broken.
I did think about that when I was putting together like a little highlight reel of the year. I was like, let me just pick out all the best bits and we'll put it there, and it looks like I have my life together.
Yeah.
But there should be one where you pick out all the bad stuff.
I think
and you're
so.
Like, look at this shit show.
Yeah, but that's what you get like when you receive messages from back home and people are like, wow, you're living such a great life.
Yeah, you do give them that kind of PR response.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's really fun.
I recall a moment where you pivoted from the plan and now you're like, oh, I should have done that.
I mean, not in terms of anything big and life-changing. No. In terms of little things, like when I can't be bothered doing something so I don't do it, probably would have been better if I'd done it. But like, it's not like, I'm not anything big. What about you?
It's funny. I was writing these questions like these big life moments, but I think the small actions that we do in those smaller plans have more impact.
For sure.
Than ticking off big 2-year plans.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
We never planned to come to Berlin.
No.
That's what I mean. Like if you plan, oh no, I was meant to stay in the Netherlands for years and years and years.
You can't, yeah.
And then if we hit a roadblock and we're like, oh, I'm just going to go home now because I can't stay here. And now we're in Berlin.
Yeah.
I never pictured myself living in Germany.
No, and that plan only came up in December last year.
Beer.
No.
Yeah.
And we haven't even had a pretzel yet. I don't know if I like pretzels. And the pickles suck. Sorry, Germany.
That is not a euphemism.
No.
The pickles actually suck.
Genuinely, we ate a lot of pickles. The food. Together a ripper PowerPoint presentation with all of the different country options, and this one seemed to work the best. But again, yes, that all sounds like not very planning and all that stuff. We researched all of the countries so much. How are the visa options? How's this? How's that?
I think we plan to be prepared.
Yes. And that's, I
think if you prepare yourself, you can
be prepared or prepare to fail.
Yeah, fuck. Every wrong plan has pushed me somewhere else.
Exactly.
There's obviously choices where I'm like, oh, that wasn't the best choice, but I wouldn't be where I am.
For sure. It's so hard to take a wrong path and stay on it. Like, that's a conscious decision, I think. Like, if you do make the wrong choice and you walk down and start the wrong plan, realize it's wrong, pivot.
Yeah.
Move.
And I think every choice that you made to go off the plan or create a new plan, in that moment, it was exactly what you wanted.
Yeah. You were told that you only had 5 years to live. What would your 5-year plan look like?
Do you know what's funny? I ask myself when I get really down in the dumps I ask myself, all right, you've got 2 years to live. What are you doing? When I think of that, I'm like, I would want to be overseas. And I am overseas. I am traveling.
It's true.
I'm not traveling as much. Like, if I knew I only had like 1 or 2 years, I would be throwing everything I had at travel.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Whereas now I'm like, well, I don't know how long I have on here. So yes, I should have a career, because that's the thing that I've noticed. Not having a job is driving me crazy.
Yeah, sure.
So I do need something to work towards and have a project.
Yep.
Or else I will go stir crazy.
Yeah.
So in the grand scheme of things, I'm not doing too bad, I don't think.
I don't think so at all. And this is the thing. We're so hard on ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much pressure. And it's funny that you say that, because I am where, I don't think that I would necessarily do. I mean, it'd be different because you know your life is going to end. So like you said, finances wouldn't matter. You would throw all of your money if you have no savings, sure. But we are trying to facilitate. Yeah. But I would release all of my music, which I'm actively trying to do anyway. Yeah. I would try and play. I would travel. I would be living overseas. Like, that's all the stuff that we're doing. I think that there would just be more sentimental value behind all of it, because I'd be like, well, I would sell some sick tickets and be like, I'm dying in 5 years, guy.
Once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that's...
Should you be living every day like it's your last? Because no, I'm sorry. I would be completely unhinged. I would be spending all my...
It all comes down to finances.
It does. It all comes down to finances, I've realized.
But I have always had that mentality, like, obviously since Dad, you have that mentality. You're like, the biggest rug of all can be pulled at any given time. Yeah. Like, you just don't know.
It's funny because it's even changed, like, the small things in my life. I used to buy something really nice and be like, I'm going to save that for a special occasion. No, I just use it all the time.
Every day is a special occasion.
If I buy something and I like it, I'm going to use it. Yeah. Previous 5-year plan, coming to the Netherlands, if you got into university and then you had like a 3-4 year degree ahead of you, would you have... Let me get my question out.
Sorry, there's something coming with my mouth. I'm not sure, but it made a noise and I'm sorry.
You got scared. If you had gotten into university as your original plan was, and you had a 3-4 year degree ahead of you, and then I had to leave at the end of my 12 months there, would you have left me or would you have left university?
The funny thing about university... I would have done a year and fucking happily left. I would have hated going to uni every day. And I think about that as a pivot moment all the time. First of all, financials, like expensive. But if we're talking about if I was loving it, I think that we have a relationship where you would see that I was loving it and you'd be like, cool, I'm going to move.
Yep.
Like I don't feel like the relationship we have, you would... make me feel bad if that's something that I chose to do.
I wouldn't have dragged you.
Yeah. No. But I do think about all the time, what a fucking bullet that I have dodged. What if you got your passport and I had to go home?
Adios, bitch.
Yeah. But that's the kind of relationship that we have.
No, I wouldn't have gone home. You would have come to another 12-year visa and I just would have followed you. We would have got married. Yeah, I know.
No, but I think that we're in this together until we're not in this together. And once if it was a decision made by personal preference, we would understand. If it was forcefully by visa things, I don't think it would be as easy.
Yeah. If you were 10 years old and you got a glimpse of you living in Germany now, what do you think 10-year-old Michaela would be thinking?
Honestly, and I'm going to get all cheese balls, I think she'd be really fucking proud. Depends on how much of the picture she's seeing. Like, is she seeing the cans of tuna for dinner every night and stuff? No, I genuinely think that she would be excited.
Yep.
What about 10-year-old Tanya? 10-year-old Tanya, that's fun to say. 10-year-old Tanya. Say it 10 times fast. Titi. Continue.
Again, if she saw...
How much?
Well, yeah.
How much are we showing 10-year-old Michaela?
Is she getting the highlight reel?
Yeah, exactly. She's seeing my Instagram because that chick's going to be so happy.
Yeah, if she saw the highlight reel, she'd be like, this bitch has got it on.
Yeah.
If she actually saw the glimpse, she would be like, that wasn't the plan.
Yeah. But that's such a tough question because She hasn't seen the shit.
But that's the thing. When you are 10 years old and you look at someone our age, you're like, yeah, but they've established.
Yeah.
They are a pillar in society.
Yeah.
Whereas when you reach adulthood, you're like, you're all liars.
But also,
it's not. It's adulthood is not what I thought it would be at all.
But no one knows what's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Not even my mum.
But being a 10-year-old and looking up at adults, you're like, I see myself there.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas it's a scam.
It's
they
a
scammed
scam.
us.
It gets more and more confusing.
I would like a refund, please.
I unsubscribe.
I unsubscribed to this because this is freaking hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, if she was like that, you don't own a house, you don't own where you live. What do you mean you don't have a job? I'm confused. I think she would be confused.
Yeah.
But if she saw the Instagram, good job.
Yeah, she'd be proud.
Yeah, she'd be proud.
10.
Yeah.
I always wanted a Prince Charming and a husband.
Yeah, I think she would be questioning that.
Yeah.
But she'll learn.
She'll learn. But that's the thing. She can have a snapshot, and then the older she gets, she'll be like, the cans of tuna make sense now. You go, girl.
Do you think if you did got a glimpse of yourself, again, 10 years ahead, would that mean, I wonder if it would make us work harder or not work as hard? It's funny. I just thought of, remember that day we were walking and I was like, I want a sign from the universe saying this is the right path. Like, you're on the right path. And we were walking and you turned to this building and you're like, there's your...
keep walking.
And I looked over and in massive letters on this building, it says, this isn't going to end well.
It was a full exhibition about it. And I was like, this is God's. Look away.
I think that's the beauty of not knowing.
Yeah.
Because you just have to work as hard as you can.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. You just got to, and work towards things that light your fucking soul on fire.
If you are in a relationship, is it important to plan with your partner? What happens if your plans don't align with a partner?
I think that if your plans differ too much, you need to discuss that, and that may not be the path that you need. Like, that person might not be the path that you walk down life with.
Do you believe in pivoting your plan because of someone? If they were like, I really want to get married, but you were really against marriage.
Depends on how strongly you feel about it. It's like compromise. Like, you will compromise, but if it's against your like strong being, then no. I don't think that you should.
Should you plan with someone, or should you find someone who has the same plans?
As long as what you want to do is kind of at the core of that, and if they support that, I think that two lives, so two people in a couple, your plans can work side to side.
Do you think that's why people break up? Because you do have, when you meet someone in a point in your life, you might have plans.
Mm-hmm.
And then as you get older or things change, your plans pivot.
For sure.
And that other person's plan might have pivoted as well, or they're still on that plan.
I think that, you surround yourself with people who have similar interests and ethics and stuff like that. So your plans won't differ too far away. But if someone's being like, I want to get married, and the other person's saying I don't, then I don't think that will work out. We think that, especially, like high school relationships are really tough. People who are still together with high school relationships, you change so much as a person. Maybe it's not the same person 10 years on, you know?
Plans differ so much from when you are a child to when you kind of get a little bit into adulthood.
Yeah.
And you realize, okay, this isn't what I envisioned. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to need to redo my plan. In conclusion, plans aren't important.
What is? What is important then?
Being prepared.
Being prepared.
Being prepared to change the plan.
And working hard.
What's our next plan?
Anxiety. Our next plan is to make the most of the next 12 months, I think. Well, for me, my next plan is to make the most of the next 12 months.
My next plan is to get to Spain.
Yes. And that's it.
All my plans revolve around travel.
Yeah. I wonder how much of that is because you can plan that. You can book the flight. You can do that.
I can create an itinerary.
Exactly. And that's a solid plan. But having a plan is important to a point, but I think that being willing and open to pivot is also super essential, especially in the life that we live.
Pivot, don't plan.
Love that.
We should have planned an outro.
We should. As you can see.
So we're just going to pivot next week.
See ya.
Processing reimagined.
Good chats.
Good chats.